The ICE shooting in Minnesota has sparked debate over whether police can shoot at moving vehicles.
It is an argument had here in Albuquerque when the Department of Justice put the police department in a consent decree. Tonight, in a Target 7 investigation, Jason McNabb looks at similar shootings that occurred here and why the DOJ said they were not okay.
Well, yeah, Doug and Shelley, when the DOJ conducted its investigation into APD, it said officers could not shoot at moving vehicles. We talked to the former U.S. attorney who led that investigation over a decade ago and asked what makes this Minneapolis case different. These videos of an ICE agent shooting at a moving vehicle has sparked debate and protests.
That's fine, dude. I'm not mad at you.
It shows an ICE officer shooting through the window of a moving vehicle, killing a woman. Federal authorities immediately said the shooting was justified.
They were attempting to push out their vehicle and a woman attacked them and those surrounding them and attempted to run them over and ram them.
The Minneapolis mayor said it was not.
They are already trying to spin this as an action of self-defense. Having seen the video of myself, I want to tell everybody directly, that is bull.
What changed when the DOJ came in regarding especially shooting at moving vehicles?
There's a specific provision in there that says that an officer can't shoot at a moving vehicle, even to stop the vehicle, unless someone within that vehicle is using lethal force. And that lethal force is not the car itself. Then the officer can shoot at the vehicle to protect himself or herself, another officer, somebody else.
Damon Martinez was a U.S. attorney at the time the DOJ reached this settlement agreement with APD, mandating hundreds of policy changes. It followed a rash of officer-involved shootings.
What else it said was that an officer can intentionally place themselves in the path of a moving vehicle.
When the DOJ completed its investigation into the Albuquerque Police Department, they looked at 20 cases that they found to be problematic. One of them happened right here behind me back in 2012, where an officer shot at a moving vehicle. Daniel Tillison was killed after police shot into his vehicle. The officer thought he had a firearm. Instead, it was a cell phone. This is former police chief Ray Schultz explaining it when it happened.
At that time, the vehicle then went into reverse and very quickly rammed into the police car.
There were a total of 2 shootings in which APD shot at a moving vehicle that the DOJ said were not justified. This was the other shooting, seen by this surveillance video from Walmart. It killed Mickey Owings, whom investigators said backed his car into an unmarked police unit and a civilian's vehicle. An officer then approached the vehicle and shot Owings as he crashed into 2 parked cars trying to push them out of the way. The family filed suit. This is their attorney, Joe Kennedy, at the time.
Everyone at Walmart was placed in danger because of what they did. There's better ways to apprehend people accused of crimes rather than shooting at the vehicle.
In its initial investigation, the DOJ said, quote, "The better policy followed by many departments is to prohibit officers from firing their weapons at cars altogether." However, APD added some exceptions to its policy. It says officers can fire only if the passenger or driver is presenting a deadly threat to the officer or someone else. That deadly threat can't be the actual vehicle. It has to be something like a firearm. With what the public has access to, what you've seen, do you think this would have violated APD policy?
That's difficult for me to answer. What the answer comes down to is whether the officer believed that he was reacting in self-defense, and that literally would come down to a frame-by-frame evaluation or examination of what occurred.
Now, in regards to potential consequences for the ICE officer involved in that Minneapolis shooting, Martinez says his understanding is that the state does have the power to prosecute federal officers if their investigation finds that shooting was unjust, but adds that that's very rare for that to happen. For Target 7, I'm Jason McNabb.